Hello, friends. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, everyone, in today's class. Okay, which are the hosts? Okay, Nidhi, Mansi, Gaurav. Okay, Vaibhav. Okay, welcome, everyone. So, guys, we are studying about your ninth lesson, right? That is agriculture, and almost 90% of this lesson we have completed. Only the last part of the lesson is remaining. Okay. So up to now, I hope you have revised the topic, whatever we have completed in previous classes, previous lectures. Okay, okay, you have gone through it. Try to read the topic, okay, as much as possible, because reading or the revision is the only key to success. Not only key, but it makes everything easier. Because actually, there is a scientific knowledge that you forget the thing, things, okay, whatever you have keep in your mind after some days. So what you have to do, you have to just revise the things whatever is in your mind, because it lasts longer in your memory. Okay, so I'm is my voice clear to all of you? Okay, Mansi is able to hear me. What about Nidhi, Gaurav, Vaibhav? Okay, okay, now here is the screen I'm sharing to all of you. I hope it is also visible to all of you. Here is the agrotourism. Okay. Am I audible to everyone apart from Mansi, because she's able to hear me? What about other students? Okay, Shruti, right. Okay, so we will now start. Okay, so guys, in the last lecture we have completed agrotourism. Okay, how agriculture is used as a one of the tourism sector. Okay, in agriculture by making some changes. Okay, for the tourists, different facilities for them, so that people come from the cities to see the agriculture village life. Okay, so we studied about them. After here was one work for you have to identify which one is artificially ripened and which one is uh, naturally ripened. Okay, so let's see the discussion for this. Okay, what is the explanation, what is the reason for this? After the discussion, you may have realized that those fruits and vegetables that look fresh and attractive may not have been ripened using proper methods. Okay, so guys, whenever you visit any market, okay, there is a vegetable seller over there. You can see different vegetables, different fruits, which looks very fresh, which looks very attractive to us, but maybe it is the thing that they are not ripened naturally. Okay, they have not been ripened naturally. Some artificial agent, chemicals, okay, are used to ripen this. Okay, so this looks fresh and attractive, but may not have been ripened using proper methods. At times, in order to get produce earlier, artificial chemicals, pesticides are employed profusely. Okay, what people are doing to get the produce earlier? to get the production vegetables, fruits earlier, they are using artificial chemicals. Different pesticides are being used. Okay, so they are used on the vegetables, on the fruits, other agriculture products, so that they will get the production in less time and earlier, so that they can sell it in the market and earn the profit. But this is not the good practice. Okay, it is a bad practice. It is very harmful to health. This facilitates quicker production and produce appears fresh and attractive. After using these chemicals, artificial chemicals, pesticides, or other chemicals, the products come earlier. Okay, it looks attractive, it looks fresher, but as we know that it is not a natural process. Okay, however, such products are harmful to health. Also, they do not last long after purchase. Okay, we look it look fresh, it look attractive. Okay, it looks very bigger, but this do not last longer when we purchase it and take it at the home, because it is artificially ripened, different chemicals used. It is very bad for our health, it is harmful our health. Okay, so you have to be very careful while selecting different vegetables, while buying different vegetables, fruits from the sellers or vendors. Okay, now here is work for you. Write the paragraph on the basis of following questions. Okay, here are 4 questions, and based upon that you have to answer them. Which improper practices arising out of man's greed are observed in agriculture? ओके, माणसाचा जो लोभीपणा आहे, जो ग्रीडीनेस आहे, ओके, मॅन्स ग्रीडीनेस, बिकॉज ऑफ मॅन्स ग्रीडीनेस, man is using different practices which is wrong practices, improper practices. Okay, and what are such practices you have used? Okay, you have to find it out. What means of irrigation are available in your area? Okay guys, so friends, is it clear about the artificial ripening and natural ripening, how it is harmful, why different chemicals are used through the for the greed? Okay, man's greed. Okay, so can anybody tell me that which types of irrigation systems or irrigation you have observed near your village? Okay, or your farmers, have you observed it? Irrigation, जलसिंचनाच्या कोणकोणत्या पद्धती शेतकरी अवलंबतात? फॉर एक्झाम्पल, you can write it down if you know. Anybody among you? Do you know or not? Okay, Gaurav don't know. So basically friends, irrigation system म्हणजेच काय, पिकाला पाणी देण्याच्या पद्धती कोणकोणत्या आहेत? ओके, सो बेसिकली वन इज फ्लड इरिगेशन. फ्लड मीन्स काय? फ्लडचं तुम्ही इफ यू टेक द मिनिंग ऑफ फ्लड इन मराठी, एकदम पूर आल्यासारखं पाणी वाहतं. ओके, आपण काय करतो घरी जेव्हा वाफे बनवतो आणि जेव्हा त्यामध्ये पाणी सोडतो मोटरचं, विहिरीचं. ओके, yes, it is by pipe also. So this is called as flood irrigation. We directly give water to the that blocks. Okay, another one is drip irrigation. Yes, yes, drip irrigation also. Sprinklers are also used. Sprinkler, okay, it is called as sprinkler irrigation. So these are 3 major types that are in practice in India. Okay, flood irrigation, drip irrigation, and sprinklers are being used for this purpose. Yes. Next question is, have you observed the wastage of water in agriculture? If yes, describe it. So can anybody tell me that in which type of irrigation there is wastage of water? What do you think? Okay, welcome Pratibha, no issues. You can always access this video on YouTube channel also. Okay, Santosh Takle, it is one of the YouTube channel. Okay, you can have this video on that also. So can anybody tell me that in which type of irrigation there is a wastage of water? Yes, absolutely. It is flood irrigation because we are putting or giving too much water to that plant or that vegetables or that crop, out of which almost 70 to 80% goes inside the soil, inside the land, okay, which is not useful for the product or the crop. But when we use sprinklers, when you use drip irrigation we give, okay, drips of the water, okay, droplets of the water. So we give directly to the plant, okay, directly the roots of the plant. So that's why flood irrigation is does very high water wastage is there. But in drip irrigation you can do your agriculture, okay, in very small amount of water, okay, less quantity. Yes, unnecessary water is given to plant. Most of it goes west, okay, most of it goes west inside the land or the soil. Which steps can easily be taken to avoid improper practices in agriculture? Okay, so agriculture मध्ये हे जे काही improper practices आहे, maybe suppose flood irrigation. Okay, there are some places in our country where people do not have water to drink. Okay, and in some places there is a plenty amount of water. Okay, too much water is there. They are just flooding their fields with the water. Okay, and some places there is not water for drinking. So what we have to do, we have to make awareness, okay, arrest and percolate, okay, पाणी अडवा पाणी जिरवा या प्रकारच्या ज्या काही गव्हर्नमेंटच्या स्कीम्स असतील, जलयुक्त शिवार, ओके, so we have to implement these schemes, we have to make people aware about this so that we can avoid improper practices. Also for the artificial ripening of the fruits or the earlier production of the crops, people using chemicals, pesticides, okay, so we have to avoid that. Also we have to make awareness about all that things also, as it is harmful to us. Though we get that crop earlier, but when it will go to somebody's house for eating, okay, it will be harmful for their health. So guys, I don't think you have any issue in this. We will take next topic now, that is marketing. Okay. Okay. So here is the marketing systems. Last topic. Okay. Last topic from this lesson. Marketing systems. Marketing systems are necessary for making the goods produced by farmers available to the consumer at the fair price and in time. Okay, why marketing systems are necessary? Okay, what is the importance of the marketing system? So basically marketing systems okay, they make the goods produced by farmers, okay, fruits, whether it is fruits, vegetables, medicinal plants, okay, so marketing system makes all these products available to the consumers at fair price and in time. म्हणजेच एकदम योग्य किमतीमध्ये, माफक दरामध्ये आणि योग्य वेळेमध्ये जे काही शेतीमाल आहे तो लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचवणं, उपभोक्त्यापर्यंत पोहोचवणं, म्हणजेच कंझ्युमर पर्यंत पोहोचवणं. फॉर दिस पर्पज one system is important and that system is called as marketing system. The importance of marketing system in countries like India will become clear from the following points. Now, here are some points given. Okay, from that point, you will realize that in the country like our country, means India, how marketing system is important. Let's see it. First point is agriculture in India is scattered over vast areas. We already know that India is a big country. Okay, it is seventh. Okay, it is ranking seventh for its area. Okay, area wise, its ranking is 7 in the world. So that's why there is agriculture very scattered in our country. म्हणजे फार दूर दूरपर्यंत शेती ही विकसित झालेली आहे. Okay, all farmers are not organized, and all the farmers in our country, they don't have any union. Okay, they are individual one. They don't have any groups so that they can work together, they can help each other, and they can produce the good very well, crops very well. As agriculture is scattered all over the India, vast areas, it becomes difficult, okay, to take that product to the market, consumer market. Okay, to take that product to consumer market, it means at some places there is a good amount of production of the crops, but there is no market for that. Okay, and it is very remote area, outside area. So what is important, there should be a marketing system so that the people or the farmers can take their good, okay, agriculture produce to the markets, okay, consumer market. Most of the farmers are economically weak and cannot market their production on their own. So guys, we all of you know that there are different companies, okay, who are selling their products online. They are doing marketing on TVs, okay, different applications, advertisement is there, but it is not same for the farmer, because farmer don't have too much money. Okay, so they cannot advertise their production, or they cannot make the marketing of their products by their own. That is why the system of agriculture produce market committee, in short APMC is called, okay, agriculture produce market committee is established at the taluka level. ओके, आपल्याला माहित आहे आपल्या गावाला, प्रत्येक गावाला एक तालुका असतो आणि त्या तालुक्याच्या ठिकाणी मार्केट कमिटी असते. इन मराठीमध्ये त्याला म्हटलं जातं बाजार समिती. ओके, जी काय मार्केट कमिटी असते, मग शेतकरी काय करतो तर त्याचा जो ऍग्रिकल्चर प्रोड्यूस आहे, गुड्स आहे, तर त्याला तो तालुक्याच्या ठिकाणची जी मार्केट कमिटी आहे त्या ठिकाणी घेऊन जातो. ओके, आणि त्या ठिकाणी कोण असतात, त्या ठिकाणी वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारचे आडते असतात, ट्रेडर्स असतात, ओके, व्यापारी असतात. At these places, farmers bring their produce and sell to the traders. As farm produce is perishable, there has to be a proper arrangement for its sale. Okay, त्याच्या सेलसाठी एक प्रॉपर अरेंजमेंट फार इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. इन्स्टिट्यूट्स लाईक फार्मर्स ऑर्गनायझेशन्स, consumer societies, etc., help in this task and try to protect farmers from the exploitation by agents, mediators, and others. Okay, so guys, you know that there are different agents in the market. Okay, mediators म्हणजे मध्यस्थी लोक असतात की आपण त्यांच्यासोबत व्यवहार करतो. इवन सम अदर पीपल who can exploit farmers. Okay, they can loot farmers. ओके, फार्मर्सला ते लुटू शकतात किंवा काहीतरी एखादा फ्रॉड करू शकतात त्यांच्यासोबत. सो टू अवॉइड ऑल दिस थिंग्स, देर आर सम एजन्सीज, ऑर्गनायझेशन्स विच हेल्प्स फार्मर, ओके, टू सिक्युअर देम. फार्मर्स ऑर्गनायझेशन म्हणजे शेतकरी संघटना आहेत, काही काही कन्झ्युमर सोसायटीज आहेत. तर अशा प्रकारच्या ऑर्गनायझेशन्स हेल्प farmers so that they will not get looted from the mediators, from the agents, from the different traders, we can say. Some of the farm produce is directly used by industries as a raw material. What happens, there are some companies, suppose Kisan Jam, we all of you know. Okay, so what Kisan Jam require, it requires tomatoes, right? Tomato ketchup, so they require tomato. So what happens, when farmers produce that tomato, it directly goes to industry. It means some of the farm produce is directly used for industries as a raw material. Tomato is used as a raw material for sauce, for ketchups. International markets are now becoming easily available for farm produce due to globalization. What we do, we export our grapes, okay, our mangoes to outside world. Because of the globalization, people have come together, different countries have come together, so their markets are open to our products also. We can sell our products, but it should be of highest quality, okay, in their markets also. Many progressive farmers are using the modern technology in their farms. As we know that as technology is being evolved, there are different technological practices are being adopted, implementing by different farmers, which are progressive one. Okay, जे काही प्रगतशील शेतकरी आहेत, तर वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या ज्या आधुनिक शेती पद्धती आहेत त्यांचा ते उपयोग करतात. Also, they sell the produce with proper packaging. We know that when there is a packaging for the product, that products gets good price, better price. Okay. Just see if you go to the malls. Okay. In malls also there is a department for vegetable selling, fruit selling. Okay. When you take suppose 1 kg of tomatoes from a farmer gives you for 10 rupees, 20 rupees. But if the same products goes to the mall with the packing, then you have to pay almost 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees, 80 rupees to buy the same 1 kg tomato. So what is happening here? That packaging, simple packaging is adding value to that tomato, adding value to that price of that tomato. Okay, so some progressive farmers are packaging their products by advertising on internet. Their products get sold in local as well as international markets. Okay, so we know that on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on different applications we can advertise that we have grapes at our farm. Okay, and we will give you at price of 50 rupees per kg, 25 rupees per kg. Okay, so you can advertise now your product. So this is what marketing system does. Okay, and importance of that marketing system. Now let's see here. So anybody having, yes, Kisam jam, yes, ketchup. Okay, no doubt. What about other students? Are they having any doubt? Okay, Nidhi is having no doubt. Gaurav, Rudra Mahatre, Vedika. Okay. So you can ask me, okay, any doubt or you want any extra information. तुम्हाला जर काही एखाद्या गोष्टीविषयी जास्तीची माहिती हवी असली तरी तुम्ही विचारा. We have time, I can explain you, which will increase your knowledge also. So guys, do you know Israel? Have you heard about this country, Israel? Oh, haven't heard you about this, Israel. Israel is a very famous country in the world. Yes, Gaurav has heard about it. Okay. So guys, basically Israel is a country, okay? It is a very small country. Very small means, uh, you know that there are almost 36 districts in Maharashtra, right? Do you know that how much districts in Maharashtra? 35 or 36? Not just by means of population, by means of its area also it is very small. How many districts are there in Maharashtra state? Yes, it is 36. Because Palghar is a new district in recently few years back it was established. 36. Before that it was 35. So basically you can say that out of this 36 there are some small districts. Okay, so Israel is a country which is like one of this district. Okay, for example, if you take the example of Nasik, okay, Nasik district, then what is the area of Nashik? You can say you can compare that area with the Israel. So Israel by land, by area, it is a very small country, and by population also it is very small country. Okay. Even if I tell you further, then the population of Israel is almost 80 lakh people, only 80 lakh people. It is not even 1 crore also. It is only 80 lakh people. And if we take the example of Mumbai, Mumbai has almost 250 lakh of people living in the Mumbai. 250 lakh. And Israel only 80 lakh. Okay. But if you take the, if we consider the technologically advancement in the in Israel, so Israel is far ahead of India in case of the technology, whether it is a military technology, whether it's the agriculture technology. So let's see about the Israel. Okay, farming in Israel. Israel is a major exporter of fresh farm produce. It is the most advanced country as far as agriculture technology is concerned. Okay, Israel is one of the country. Okay, major exporter of fresh farm produce. शेतीतून निघणारं जे काही ताजा माल आहे तर त्याचा एक्सपोर्ट करणारा इस्रायल एक महत्वाचा देश आहे. It is the most advanced country as far as agriculture technology is concerned. It has adverse climate, severe scarcity of water, and more than half of its land is occupied by hot deserts. Okay, what are the conditions in front of the Israel? Climate. Okay, very adverse climate. We can say almost whole area of the Israel is desert. आपलं जे राजस्थानचं थार डेझर्ट आहे ओके सो इट इज लाईक दॅट एरिया बट इवन आफ्टर दिस climatic conditions desert area there is no water availability over there like India. Even after having all these things Israel has developed very well technologically. Okay, but overcoming all these unfavorable conditions and persistently following the path of modernization of agriculture, it has taken a giant leap in the field of agriculture. Okay, even after having all these problems, adverse climate is there, very hot weather is there is a shortage of water. Okay, even after having these, they have developed their technology very okay, cutting edge technology in agriculture field also. And what they are doing, even having very small country with very small population and area, okay, it is exporting vegetables outside the country. Whereas if you compare to India, India has abundant amount of water, abundant amount of okay land where you can do farming. Okay, so guys, one another thing is Israel is very uh, advanced in military technology also. Okay, we are taking very much or we can say large number of equipments, military equipments from the Israel. Even our Tejas fighter jet. Do you know Tejas fighter jet? Have you heard about it? Our indigenously developed fighter jet Tejas. You haven't heard about it. Okay, what about Mansi, Nidhi, Gaurav, Rudra? Yes, it is. Yes, Tejas. Okay. So basically, Tejas program is that fighter. We are developing that fighter from 40 years. Okay. We are developing it from 40 years and today it is developed now and Indian government has given order for that also purchasing. Okay, so it is being made in the factory, but the major component of that fighter is currently we are taking from the Israel and we are assembling it in India. Okay, but now we have also developed too much part of that in India also. Almost 65% of that Tejas is totally developed in India, but we are just taking some technology from outside world. Okay, guys. So this is the Israel. You can see different type of proper farming is happening there. Okay, greenhouses are there, poly houses are there. Okay, here are some questions for you. Objective type questions, MCQ, multiple choice questions. One, two, three, four. Okay. Four questions are there. In which of the following type of farming are the crops rotated? Can you tell me that in which type of farming crops are rotated?
Intensive.
Yes, it is intensive farming. Right. Second one is agriculture requires the following. Not okay, only for plowing, use of animals,
Use
use of only manpower, just cultivate the crop. Which can be the answer according to you?
B1.
Yes, absolutely. Third one, in India, agriculture has developed because there are two seasons of agriculture in India. Majority of people depends on agriculture. Traditional agriculture is practiced in India. In India, factors like climate, soil, water, etc. are conducive. So, what can be the answer for this according to you?
D1.
Yes.
P1.
It is modern methods and technology can be used in agriculture in India because here are factories producing improved seeds. There are industries producing fertilizers. Population is growing, and there are agro-based industries. Modern means of machines are available. So guys, do one thing, revise the topic. Okay, you complete this exercise. I'm going to post it or upload it on Google Classroom. Okay. Second question is give answer for the following. Okay. Discuss the importance of irrigation for agriculture. Very important. Give a comparative account of any of two methods of irrigation. Okay, irrigation methods we have studied about them. Mention the major types of farming. You read it, and in that, if you have found some problems while completing this exercise, in doubt, do ask me. Okay. So now, friends, we have successfully completed this lesson. I hope you people do not have any doubt in this. Okay, almost 3 to 4 lectures we have taken. Okay, this lesson has taken almost 3 to 4 lectures. Ninth lecture agriculture. Now the 10th lesson. Shall we start next lesson now? Here it is. Yes, it is here.
Yes, sir.
Human settlements.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, Google Classroom. Na? Okay, I am currently teaching to 9th and 10th also. For that, I have taken. Let me check. Okay, after checking, I will tell you. Google Classroom. Okay, so that it is up to the Takle sir, okay, to create the Google Classroom. Okay, guys, human settlements. What does it mean? म्हणजेच एखाद्या कोणत्या तरी भागात लोक सेटल झालेले आहेत. ओके, लोक या सेटलमेंट्स मुळेच आपल्या वेगवेगळ्या वाड्या बनतात, वस्त्या बनतात, विलेजेस बनतात, त्यातच टाउन मध्ये कन्वर्जन होतं, सिटीज बनतात. ओके, मेट्रो सिटीज होतात नंतर. Look at the following picture. Find suitable locations for human settlements and show them in this picture. Okay, for teachers, discuss the students' assumption and conclusions also. So guys, here is one picture. Okay, and you have to tell that where there can be settlements for the human. Okay, here is one picture given. Can you tell me that where we can settle here? Okay, let it go. We will directly go for the explanation. Okay, because you cannot tell directly from there. You're not in front of me directly. That's why there's a problem with this online teaching. Okay, why were settlements shown at the specific places? Why should they be located there? Why can't they be located in other places? Either figure point said 10.1, 10.2a, 10.2b. Okay, two figures are given here. Here you can see village near the river bank. Here you can see city. Metro is there. Flyovers are there. Okay. 10.2c, 10.2d. You can see one hut here. Okay, and one of the, we can say one village or a town type. Okay. Okay, let's see here now. Observe the figure or pictures given in figures 10.2. So in 10.2, there are four figures basically. This, and this. Is it visible to all of you? Okay, is it visible? Okay. Think and answer the following questions. What all can you see in the pictures? So basically, based upon these pictures, they have asked you some questions. Okay, so they are asking what you are seeing in these pictures, all the pictures. Second question, what are the familiar features? तर या पिक्चर जे दिले आहेत यांची वैशिष्ट्ये काय आहेत की ज्या तुम्हाला माहित आहेत. विच पिक्चर शोज स्पार्स सेटलमेंट्स, म्हणजे कोणत्या ठिकाणी सेटलमेंट्स ही विरळ आहे, म्हणजेच दूर दूर लोक राहतात. विच पिक्चर शोज डेन्स सेटलमेंट्स. ओके, डेन्स म्हणजेच अत्यंत घनदाट वस्ती असलेली सेटलमेंट कोणती आहे. विच पिक्चर शोज हाय राईज बिल्डिंग्स. ओके, so basically guys, if you see this picture, okay, figure A, okay, 10.2a, there is a village on the river bank. Okay, you can see school over here. So people are living together here. Population is very in the second. Okay, B, population is very dense. Okay, multiple buildings are there with, okay, maximum floors. Here you can see the very sparse settlement. Figure C, 10.2c. Only one hut you can see. After that, there is another hut. So people here living very sparsely. And here in 10.2, okay, here is some dense population again. You can see. From the following, assign a suitable name to each of the picture. Rural settlement, tribal hamlet, town, and city. Okay, so basically, can you tell me which is a village here in four figures?
10.28.
Yes. And a tribal region, tribal settlement.
10.2c.
Yes. Of course, you can easily understand. There is a town also. Where is the town? Can you tell me?
10.2b.
No, it is the one. It is city. It is the biggest city. Okay, B it's. And there is a town here. 10.2d. Okay, आपलं जे तालुक्याचं ठिकाण असतं ते इट इज बेसिकली लाईक दिस. ही दोन मजली इमारती असते. ओके, थोडक्यात दिस इज टाउन 10.2d. Okay, arrange the pictures according to the level of development of the settlement. So you have to arrange in according to its development. So very first C will become. After that there is a development, 10.2 will come. Okay, A, that is a village. After that there will be town, that is D, and after that there will be B, म्हणजे त्यानंतर city येईल which is highly evolved, which is highly developed. Okay, modern city we call it. Because you can see here aeroplanes, metros are there, vehicles are there, flyovers are there. Okay, different buildings are there. So this is nothing but the settlements guys. आपलं जे कसं असतं, इव्हन आपल्या गावाचं जर एक्झाम्पल घेतलं, इफ यू टेक द एक्झाम्पल फॉर व्हिलेज, आपल्या काही गावामध्ये मळा असतो, ओके, शेत असतात. काही लोक गावात राहत असतात, काही लोक शेतात राहत असतात. ओके, सो दोज पीपल हु आर लिव्हिंग इन दी farmlands. Okay, so these people having sparse population over there, but when we come to the village, then people are settled densely over there. Okay, and when we go to the our taluka, okay, taluka level, okay, there is a town city. Okay, it is called as town, we can say it, because it is also evolved, it is also developed into the city, I mean into town. Okay, but it is not very big as like as a city, because we don't have airports there. Sometimes there are no railway stations also there. Even flyovers are not there in our taluka. Okay, or we can say tehsil. And if you go to some we can say mountainous region, hilly region, okay, where the population is very sparse, mountain is there. So in that region, there are some tribal communities living over there. Okay, they don't have any modern facility available there. So they are living in a huts, or we can say जिंदा कच्चं घर असतं. Okay, त्यांना पक्का घर नसतं. So do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, human settlements. Yes, C, A, D, and B. Yes, 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 absolutely right. Jagdale, Mrs. Jagdale. Let's see the explanation for all this. We have just discussed. Human settlements flourished at places with favorable geographical conditions, such as availability of water, a conducive climate, fertile land. So, guys, where people get settled. Okay, people, or we can say anything. Okay, where anything gets settled, whether it's an animal, whether it's a mankind. Okay, where humans or other animals get favorable environment, favorable climate, availability of the food and water. Okay, because it is very important. So where all these things are available at that places, there is a settlement. Okay, flourished settlement. Even agriculture is there. If you take the example of villages, then agriculture is the main occupation of that peoples living in the villages. So that why where the land is available for farming, people will get settled there. So can you think to settle down in a village mountainous region where you don't have roads to go, you don't have we can say plain land, etc. You cannot settle over there. Okay. In the early settlements, the occupations of the people were dependent on a locally availability of natural resources. So, guys, as we know that mankind is a social animal, okay, and from the beginning of this mankind, okay, people started to settle at the places where they will get natural resources easily. So, what are these natural resources? So basically food, okay, water. So they get settled at such a places, and where they used to get water at river banks. That's why if you see the major cities developed in all over the world, so all these settlements, all these cities are near some river bank, near some river. Okay. This gave rise to separate settlement of people engaged in a particular occupation. For example, people along the sea coast are engaged in fishing. Okay, those people who are living near the sea coast, there is the main occupation is fishing, because in the sea, in the oceans, fishes are available in large quantity. So their occupation is like that. Their settlements become fishing hamlets. कोळीवाडा, आपल्याला माहित आहे ना कोळी गीत ऐकता ना तुम्ही सर्वजण. ओके, तर हे जे काही कोळीवाडा आहे, जे कोकणामध्ये राहतात, ओके, बिकॉज इट इज ऑन द कोस्टल एरिया ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, ओके, कोस्टल रिजन. So it is called as कोळीवाडा, fishing hamlets. Forest dwellers or tribal people use forest produce for their livelihood. So the people who are living in the coastal area, their main food is fish. Okay, and people those are living in the forest, basically whatever fruits, vegetables they are getting from the forest is their main food. Okay, and it is used for their livelihood. त्यांच्या उपजीविकेसाठीच जे ट्रायबल पीपल आहे, आदिवासी लोक आहेत, तर ते काय करतात, जंगलातच मिळणारे जे उत्पादन आहेत तर त्यांचाच ते यूज करतात. They live in a forest areas in tribal hamlets, आदिवासी पाडा. ओके, आदिवासी पाडे आहेत आपल्याकडे बरेचसे. ज्या रिजन मध्ये तुम्ही जर नांदेड, नंदुरबार या सिटीज कडे जर गेलात, इव्हन तुम्ही अकोले तालुक्यामध्ये जरी गेला ना, यू विल सी आदिवासी पीपल ओव्हर देअर. आणि त्यांना त्यांचे जे गाव असतात त्यांना आदिवासी पाडे असं म्हटलं जातं. ओके, इट इज कॉल्ड एज आदिवासी पाडाच. Agriculture is practiced in fertile areas. Okay, if you take the example of Pune, okay, near some dams, there is availability of the fertile land. Okay, soil is there, so people can grow crops over there. Farmer families build their houses in or near their fields. As I told you that in your villages also, some people living in farmlands, some near to farmlands and some in the villages. These settlements gradually grow bigger. So what happens, gradually people come and they start to grow their population over there, so that the settlements get gradually bigger. The settlements where the original occupations of the majority of people are based on natural resources are called rural settlements. Rural means ग्रामीण भाग. ओके, रुरल सेटलमेंट्स म्हणजेच ग्रामीण भागामध्ये जे लोक सेटल झालेत. ओके, सो फॉर दोज पीपल their original occupation, okay, where the original occupations of the majority of people are based on the natural resources are called rural settlements. So basically rural settlements म्हणजेच काय फ्रेंड्स, जे गावाकडे लोक राहतात, विलेज एरियामध्ये लोक राहतात. So what is their major occupation? It is natural resources. Natural resources means land, cropping is there, farming is there, agriculture is there, even animal husbandry is there. So these are some natural resources. So people who are living in rural areas, they don't have jobs actually in the villages. Okay, so what they do, farming, animal husbandry, other agriculture activities are there. Okay, so basically these are nothing but the rural settlements. Agriculture, fishery, etc. are some of these occupations, as we discussed just now and in the last lecture also. Okay, last lesson, that people living in the villages or rural areas, their major occupation is farming or agriculture or fisheries or animal husbandry is there. Dairy farming is there. Okay, are you able to relate it to you also, your villages?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any doubt in this, or
No,
do you
no.
want any information? Okay, with the passage of time, other associated occupations also developed gradually in these rural settlements. So major occupation is agriculture, fishery is there, animal husbandry is there, dairy farming is there. Okay, so along with all this farming, all these occupations, some associated occupations also developed there. So what, there are some products which are needed for agriculture, seeds, different implements, chemical fertilizers. Okay, all this type of, we can say, bamboo wires are required to fulfill that requirements. Some associated occupations are also developed. Okay, as a result, people from surrounding areas migrate and settle there, leading to an increase in rural population. So what happens because of that, when there are some shops in the village, okay, different type of fabrication shops are there, grocery stores are there. Okay, so for what happens, people come from outside in the village because some other associated occupations also start increasing in the village to fulfill the requirement of animal husbandry, agriculture and other occupations. Okay, so people start to come from outside the village and they start to settle in the village. That's why the population of the village increases. Houses are built and different facilities are developed for the growing population. So as we have seen about the how a village gets converted from a village to a town or a city. Okay, urbanization. In the urbanization topic, we have seen this. So to fulfill the requirement of this increasing population, there are some facilities developed in the rural areas or villages. Importance of secondary and tertiary occupations increases. The proportion of people engaged primary occupations declines. What happens because of the increase in population and secondary and tertiary occupations? The people who were doing the primary occupation, okay, their population get declined. Okay, this process leads to transformation of rural settlement into urban settlement. We have seen these things in very detail, okay, elaborated manner. Due to religious, historical, commercial, educational, and administrative reasons, and also due to tourism, the original settlements may transform into urban one. ओके, म्हणजेच काय, काही रिलिजियस कारणांमुळं, धार्मिक कारणांमुळं, सपोज एखादं धार्मिक स्थळ असेल गावामध्ये, हिस्टॉरिकल काही मॉन्युमेंट्स असतील किंवा हिस्टॉरिकल इम्पॉर्टन्स असेल गावाला, काही महत्वाचे लोक आपल्या गावात जर जन्मले असतील, मोठाले, ओके, महान लोक, किंवा कमर्शियल रिजन्स, म्हणजेच काय, चांगलं जर आर्थिक विकास होत असेल गावामध्ये लोकांचा, ओके, मार्केट जर चांगलं असेल, एज्युकेशनल फॅसिलिटीज जर चांगल्या असतील, आणि ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह रिझन म्हणजेच काय, त्या प्रशासन करण्यासाठी मग वेगवेगळ्या प्रकारच्या बॉडीज गव्हर्नमेंट तिथे एस्टॅब्लिश करतात. ओके, अँड ऑल्सो द टुरिझम, बिकॉज ऑफ द टुरिझम, ओके, ओरिजिनल सेटलमेंट्स मे ट्रान्सफॉर्म इन टू अर्बन वन. मग ज्या ओरिजिनल ज्या काही विलेज होतं छोटस, इट गेट कन्वर्टेड इन टू अर्बनाइज्ड सिटी. If the population and necessary amenities increase on large scale, the urban areas grow into metropolitan city. Okay, म्हणजेच काय, initially it was village, it will converted into town, then city, and when all the facilities, okay, amenities increases, it get converted into metropolitan cities. म्हणजेच एका मोठमोठ्या सिटी मध्ये त्याचं कन्वर्जन होतं. Okay, so this is nothing but the settlement. What we have seen? We have seen these tribal, okay, we have seen tribal hamlets. After that, there are villages which are somewhat developed than the tribal regions, and from the tribal regions we have seen the towns. Okay, town have some good facility than the villages for the people, and there are tertiary and secondary occupations in the town. Okay, farming is not the major occupation, or agriculture is not the major occupation as like in the villages. And when we that city goes to the or converts into the urbanized city or metropolitan city, then all the amenities, all the facilities available there, okay, are of top class, and it get converted into metropolitan city. So this is basically settlement, how settlement increases, how settlement cause happening of the or we can say formation of villages, urban cities, okay, metropolitan cities. So any doubt in this? Human settlements, how it flourish, how different climatic condition, geographic conditions, fertile lands, natural resources for their livelihood, okay, all these things are important in the settlement of mankind. Okay, okay, can you tell, observe figure 10.3, here 10.3, a type of settlement. Discuss the following questions. What is the difference between the human settlement at A and B? Here is A type settlement. Where is the B type? Okay, here is A, here is B, and here is C. Can you see A, B, C here? Figure
Yes, sir.
10.3. Okay, okay. So, can you tell me that what is the difference between them?
So,
What is the difference? Hmm.
in a picture A, the
Hmm.
houses are not in the line, and in picture B, the houses are in the line.
Yes, and in the C, there is only a lone house. Okay, lonely. What is the difference between the settlement at B and C? Okay, B and C. What is the difference between B and C? Again, the same difference. Okay. Where do you find less than two houses? C, right? In what type of settlement do you live? So out of this A, B, C, in what type of settlement you live? If you live in a city, then it is a B. If you live in a village, then it is A. And if you live in a tribal region, or we can say remote area, then there is a C type settlement. So basically in the B, there is a town planning, we can say. Okay, there is a organized city or organized villages are there. And in the A type, people have built houses according to their need as per the availability of their farmland. Okay, near the river bank. But here you can see one road at the B, right? You understand this figure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here is another make friend with maps, index, settlement, road, railways, contour, river. Okay, where is that road? Red block is given, red color you can see here. So the red block is nothing but settlement. It means there is maybe some villages there, some town is there, some metropolitan city is there. So here you can see where there is a large number of red blocks. Okay, so there is a big city, we can say. Okay, there is a big city, and outside there are some sparse blocks which are not densely populated. So there you can easily see that maybe town is there, village is there, or tribal settlement is there. Now roadways are there, you can easily see roadways there, right? By red color, roadways are there, railway is
Yes, sir.
also there, and contour means contours. Contour, there is a next chapter. Okay, next chapter based on contour only. Contours give the physiography or the geographical characteristics of some region. Okay, also there is a river also. Okay, so do it, observe figure 10.4 and answer the following. 10.4, where is 10.4? It is 10.4. Number is not given, I think. Observe figure 10.4 and answer the following questions. Name some of the settlements shown in the map. Okay, can you see the settlements? Can you take name? Yes, whatever the name near the blocks. Yes, anyone? Acholwa, okay. Sadatko, Pokhran. Okay, there are too many, right? Right, na? Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir.
Champawadi, Champawadi, we can say Chapawadi. Okay, Chapawadi, it is Chapawadi. So basically, there are different villages, different cities here. Okay, which of the settlements in the map are in the scattered form? So those city, we can easily see the scattered one. Okay, villages are scattered everywhere. How are houses in the settlement along the roads arranged? In which settlement are houses close together? What could be the reason behind this density? You have studied this. Can you now classify the settlements on the basis of this pattern? Okay. So these are some questions based on this. Okay, we will see the explanation for it. After considering various settlements, we realize that people settle down in different geographical conditions and adopt themselves to the conditions in the region. Okay, we have seen different settlements here also, and in 10.2 A, B, C, D also. Okay, so what we realize from that? Okay, we realize that people settle down in different region. There are different region in our country. So in every region, people live there. Okay, so people get settled there. There are different climatic condition, geographical condition, and what people do, they adopt all that conditions. Okay, in that region. Patterns of human settlements evolved in accordance with the natural conditions. Okay, whatever the natural conditions are in that region, people adopt according to that conditions. Okay, and that's why the human settlements are also according to that conditions. It means if we go to the Rajasthan, there is a desert in Rajasthan, we know. So what is in the Rajasthan settlements? So settlements are very sparse. These are very scattered one, right? Why? Because there is a natural resources are not too much available there. Only in some places there is availability of water, and where the availability of the water is good, in the Rajasthan, in that area, people have got settled in the large quantity. So it is nothing but that settlements evolved in accordance with the natural conditions. In this lesson, we are going to study the major patterns of human settlements and reasons behind them. Okay, guys, what we are going to do? We are going to see patterns of human settlements and reasons behind them. जर अशा प्रकारचे सेटलमेंट असेल तर why this is so? If settlement of that different type dense, scattered, sparse, why this is so? We are going to see reasons for this. But I think for today it is over. Also, time is over for today, right? So be prepared for next lecture. Okay, just have a one look on remaining topic. थोडंसं तुम्ही स्टडी करून या. म्हणजे काय, whenever I will try to explain some topics, you will easily catch it. Okay, is it okay? I hope you have understood today's topic. Okay. I hope this was a good lesson. Okay, so up to next lecture. Goodbye to everyone. Okay, enjoy your life. And please do study. Goodbye, good night.
Bye, sir.
Goodbye.